Welcome to the first episode of Podcast by Default. This episode's kind of based on debuts because it's our debut as a podcast kind of thing. My name is Ange. I'm 20 years old. I really like cheesecake and I'm studying psychology.
My name is Kim. I'm also 20 years old, even though I look like I'm 15. But I'm studying sociology, and your girl is hella addicted to YouTube.
My name's Gems. I'm also 20 for now. I'm wearing a purple shirt.
I'm Chris. I'm 21, and I love video games. My major is economics.
My name's Jess. It's my birthday today. I'm half your height and I'm still very sick, so excuse my voice.
Alright guys, so why don't we just kind of hop into it?
So we're thinking of doing some icebreakers, just so you guys can get to know us better, and I guess we can get to know each other better, as if we don't know each other already.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Wait,
think...
were you again?
I don't know. Nice to meet you. Happy birthday. Anyway,
Mind me being in your home.
I think we should start. Okay, the first question I think I want to ask you guys is, if you could have a movie after you, which actor or actress would you choose to play you?
Antonio Banderas.
She's so quick to answer that one too.
That's
Puss
Why?
in Boots or no one.
As we got Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots playing you.
No. Just like, that's when I knew. When I watched Shrek 2, it was like,
You're like, that's
He's
me.
got it.
yeah.
He's the
Makes
one.
sense.
He's the.
Exactly.
He's.
I want Shrek to play me.
Like my
No, it's just Shrek. It's just Shrek.
A one-man show.
Yeah.
A one-man show. What about you, Chris?
I want to see Johnny Depp just because I want to see what he makes of me.
That's a good
Interesting.
I like that.
actor.
He's gonna make you a drunken
Oh my
pirate.
God, I love
A
that.
drunken pirate. I could see
I like
Chris as a
that.
drunken
Have you
pirate.
guys watched Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
because I want Aquafina to play me.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I think that would work
No,
really
I
well.
haven't. It's on my list. I've been wanting to watch Crazy Rich Asians.
It's really good. And the wedding scene's so cute.
I know.
Yeah, they're
No
it's
spoilers
like
or
partially
anything.
underwater.
And I like that version of I Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
That
was
was
so.
really
That
good.
wedding in
Yeah.
general.
I
That's
just love
a
Tina Grant.
bougie level. I want that level of bougie at my wedding.
Yeah.
For
What about
me,
you, Kim?
who would I choose? I don't know. Do I have like a female actress that I love? I don't know. Maybe it could be a Bollywood actress, but I think I might. I don't think I want Priyanka Chopra to play me. I think I honestly, even though we don't look anything alike, Taraji P Henson, she probably would make me be so like she would.
I love her.
She
Right?
has your essence.
I love it. I love her so much, so I would love for her to play me in a movie.
Okay, so speaking of movies, do you guys have like a favorite movie?
You can guess mine.
Oh, I mean,
Nice segue into that.
Can I guess yours?
Guess mine.
Pirates of the
Pirates of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean?
No.
Oh, well,
Wait.
you said Johnny Depp.
How?
Johnny Depp.
Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
There
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh.
Oh, it was right
Okay,
there.
wait, the viewers don't
It
know,
literally
but
was right there.
but Chris is super into Nightmare Before Christmas. Like whenever it's Christmas time, like he'll ask
Or
for that as a
Halloween.
gift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
His
between
birthday.
October to December, that's where he thrives the
Just
most.
all year round.
That's also my birthday period.
Yeah.
So it works. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have.
That's too hard a
Favorite
question.
movie, yeah.
I don't like questions like that.
Currently, it's Sonic the Hedgehog, but that could change at any minute.
See, give
Sonic
me a
was good.
specific
She's walking.
genre, and I'll probably be able to give you like a movie in a specific genre. But like to say I have a number one favorite, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, The Lion King was pretty good, but I don't know if I would. Call
I guess
them
if there's like
favorite.
one movie I never get tired of, it's technically two movies, but also kind of one. The Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
I'm sorry, audience. I spilled
Honestly,
my water.
Shrek is one movie that you could just never get tired
Oh,
of. Watch it
Shrek
like-
2?
Okay,
Shrek
wait.
2.
I just
Shrek 2 is the
wanna.
perfect sequel.
Shrek
Yes.
2 is the perfect
Okay.
sequel.
So, if you were to rate all the Shrek movies, how would you rate it?
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2.
Shrek 3. Shrek 4, like, in the
It's like deep, the pits of
Yeah, I
hell.
didn't even watch Shrek 4.
Shrek 4 gave me
You should.
nightmares. I still have reoccurring nightmares of the flying scene when Donkey and him were on the broomstick. I don't know why, but I still have those reoccurring nightmares. I'm scared.
Does
the
Donkey have a
crap out of me.
spin-off? He should.
No.
He
No, but
should.
Puss does, yeah.
Because of
Okay, but I like
Can we
Puss.
count
Puss?
Puss as in our rankings because if we're counting Puss in Boots, it's
He's
like
I
high
like
up
Puss in
there.
Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Puss in
movie.
Obviously before Shrek 4, but before Shrek 3?
yeah. I would say before Shrek 3. I think it's Shrek 2, Shrek 1, Puss in Boots, Shrek 3, and then it's Shrek 4.
I actually like Shrek 4 more than Shrek 3.
Really?
Hot
Yeah.
take.
I
Refreshing.
rewatched it recently, and it has a lot of dark themes, and that's what I love in my films.
Dark
And-
Themes. What is Shrek
Yeah.
for? What's that one?
So
forgot
basically,
about that one.
he wishes his whole family away by wishing a day away, and then
Aw.
Rumpelstiltskin makes it so he was never born.
Mhm.
But what I don't like
That's
is it's out
weird.
of character for Shrek to like suddenly hate everything he's
He-
fought so hard for.
It's not really suddenly hating, it's more he doesn't think of himself as being what he used to be. Because before, in the first film, he was the feared ogre.
Mhm.
And now, in the fourth film, it's complete 180.
He's almost like a
everyone,
Big
celebrity.
softy.
Yeah.
everyone loves him. He
Uh,
tries to be scary. It doesn't work.
Do the roar.
It could be some.
Daddy.
That's our intro.
My voice is too high for that.
Honestly, I feel like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's kind of like a losing yourself
Yeah, it's like
almost.
not taken seriously.
And he also has three
Okay.
kids, and
Yeah.
we're not parents, and we're not going to be parents anytime soon, but
Oh.
taking care of triplets is
Oh,
about
yeah. I can't even. I don't even like going to the mall and hearing the kids cry at this
Oh, yeah.
point.
Well, taking care of Lucy's a habit.
Lucy's my dog, by the way. She is. She's emo.
Sad boy.
Oh,
Man.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Shrek is definitely a classic. I like how it like
Classic.
puts a twist and it turns fairy tales on its head.
All
Like
the fairy tales.
It's just
Oh, my Snow
perspective.
White's my favorite.
You know what? You know the most badass scene ever is gotta be in Shrek 2. I Need a Hero. You can't tell
Oh,
me that
yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
give you
That was
chills.
good.
It, from the singing, from the better, like that song is just better than the original. I'm sorry. So
Once she
many comfort-
starts singing, you
Once-
have to start singing.
You gotta start singing, but you can't tell me you don't get chills when Puss in Boots jumps off of Donkey and is ready to fight. You can't tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ready to fight though.
tell me that gives chills in the body. 20 years. I'm 20 years old. I'm still getting chills from that.
Legit though, there are
Iconic.
action movies today that want that, but
Mm.
Shrek 2 had in that one scene and they can't. They
It's
can't
true.
get
You know
it.
what? You may think we're joking, but it's actually the real truth. Like if you're crazy enough to never have seen it, come on.
Okay, so wait, how many dwarves does Snow White have?
Seven.
Okay,
7.
so if you can be an extra dwarf, an eighth dwarf, what would you be? Because there's like what, grumpy,
Sassy.
sleepy, yeah.
I would be sassy dwarf.
I wish I could say sleepy, but that's already one.
I guess I'm stressy.
Stressy. Chris, do you want to be depressy?
I'll take it.
Okay, I'll be well dressy. I don't know.
Jenna, do you want to be a little bit messy? I'm kidding.
Is it clumsy already one? No.
No,
No,
All can be
isn't one.
clumsy.
Clumsy.
Man.
All right, but like I feel like, could you imagine if they had to redo Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and now it's like how many of us are 1, 2, 3, like 12 dwarfs? Wait, is it 5? Yeah, it's 5. 12 dwarfs. Snow White and the 12 dwarfs, and you just have all of us running the show. Like, come on.
Wait, I thought you were counting us.
No,
you were
no.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. How did you get there?
I promise you, I passed second grade math.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be the Pressy, I would be Fighty.
Fighting.
Fighting?
Yeah,
Oh.
because of my feisty.
You would be
Aggressy.
Aggressy. I love that.
Redo Snow White, and we're gonna have a scene where Fighty fights Grumpy. Straight up, they square up. When Grumpy doesn't want to wash his hands, just rent that thing going.
Gosh.
And then there's a scene where we both find the evil queen.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, y'all just like squaring
I'd
up,
pay
pulling up
money to
things.
see that.
I would.
Because I'm imagining Chris like small as a door.
Oh my gosh, you know what that reminds me of? That vine that's like, what would you do if a child was in front of you? And the guy just goes, oh yeah.
Guys.
I have a question.
Mm.
So, what are some childish things you do as an adult?
Okay,
Talk
does
about Snow White.
watch
No.
like kids movies and stuff
No.
count? Like okay, if they're not from your childhood though, it's different if it's nostalgic. But if you're like
Rediscovering movies or like you're
no,
discovering.
not
Not
even
even?
rediscovering. Like
Okay,
like you've
you
never
discovered for the
watched.
first
How
time.
old were we when How to Train Your Dragon came out?
We were like
that's
12.
deep and emotional.
Every DreamWorks and Disney movie. What about Frozen? We watched that in theaters.
Yeah. So is that
We were in high
childish?
school.
We were pretty.
They're
we were pretty
legit
grown.
movies.
Okay, wait. Big blockbusters aside, then, like, what if? Okay, God forbid anyone, but what if somebody watched Teen Titans Go? Like, is that
Oh my
childish?
lord.
That's hella childish. You're a grown ass woman. You're telling me that you're watching Teen Titans Go instead of the regular Teen Titans?
I know.
That's childish as hell.
Honestly.
So see, I've been watching Sonic
So,
Boom.
we
It's
said-
not like it's just Sonic.
Wasn't Sonic Boom the name of the music store from Austin Nolly?
Yes.
Well, I haven't been watching that.
is that a childish thing you do? Watch Austin and Ally?
Nah, I just remember from when I used to watch when I was younger.
So then, yeah, just rewatching old childhood shows.
No,
counts.
rewatching doesn't count. But this isn't rewatching. It
Like
came out
fresh,
in 2016,
yeah.
and I discovered it like last week
So
after
it's
the
like
Sonic movie because I couldn't get enough of Sonic.
That's like how I watched Toy Story for the first time when I was in my teens.
Okay, what are childish
I think
things?
it might have.
Oh,
I mean,
okay, I guess
personally,
it's
for me, it might have been the Disney movies because I know I kind of blamed on my younger sister, but like when I started really watching Disney movies, I was young and we really couldn't afford like that many VCR, cassettes or whatever because we were kind of like poor and.
and those were expensive.
They were
at the time.
expensive at the time. DVDs, oh god, that was like a leg and a half.
My
But,
dad
like,
would just like record whatever was on
Yeah.
TV.
But like, if you ask me how many Disney movies I've watched, I can tell you I only watched Cinderella and I only watched Pinocchio. Pinocchio scarred me. So I only really
I was terrified of Pinocchio.
right. No, that donkey scene, that's chill. I don't know where they
And
thought
the
that was.
whales, the whale
whales.
scene, just
Well, those are
nightmare
scary
stuff.
though.
I just never liked it. I
those
can't
are
remember why. I was
I've
probably
never
scared too.
watched
It's
it.
probably it's scary. I rewatched it when I was 16 because I was like, why was I so scared? I was scared at the age of
Again.
16. Yeah, that donkey scene. But watch it, and I'm telling you, it's disturbing. I don't know where they thought that was a good idea to put in a kids movie.
Mhm.
But then again, their idea of like what's appropriate for kids was so much different than what it is now.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot more coddled, but like that's
Yeah,
one thing.
Back
But
in
like,
the day, Tom and Jerry, they used to kill each other
and people
20
would
times each episode. And
yeah.
They don't
We
do
would
that
laugh.
anymore?
No,
No,
no.
not so
Now they
much.
now
What
they
do
just
they
like
do?
team
Just
up.
chase each other? Oh, they team up.
Well, every
No.
now and
They
then.
team
Some
up
there were
by
like one or two
trying
times
to
where
eat
where-
cookies.
Tom and
Eat
Jerry's still a thing.
cookies?
Oh, I
Oh,
had no
yeah.
idea.
And no, even like if you even check the original Pinocchio, the original story, it's hella disturbing.
All of
guys.
the
Okay, a lot of
all the
all of
fairy
them.
tales.
All
Yeah,
of them,
Grim
but that
Fairy
one is
Tales.
specifically. Cause I think I heard it's. I don't know because like,
I have the Grim Fairy Tale. I'll bring it one
Did you
day.
read
Yeah?
the Pinocchio one?
No.
they were.
I don't like
I
Pinocchio.
heard many different origin stories for Pinocchio specifically, and one of them was like it's supposed to be like a newspaper, like how you have like you used to have like
Isn't
Archie
there one
comics.
with like an old witch and stuff?
Yeah, and there was also like one like apparently he was just like a series like you'd pick up the newspaper in like the 1800s and like oh this is for the kids, and apparently it was used to show like bad behavior, and apparently one of the cartoons they just straight up killed him, and the kids were all
It makes
traumatized.
sense because back in the day, that's where all the folklore came from.
That's true.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
witches, all the werewolves. If you were bad, they're gonna come to get you, like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen American Gods?
No.
No.
No, okay. Really, really, really good show.
Is it?
Yeah, really, really good show. But
Neil Gaiman, I trust that it's good.
yeah, anything of his is good. But okay, so there, because it goes back into like folklore and whatnot, and so like one of the episodes they explore like some like Celtic or Celtic, however you pronounce it. One of those one of the folklore is about like leprechauns, and they were mentioning how like folklore itself had to change over time because back then it was like the folklore was like, oh, if you fell asleep by a river, like this thing would like come like drag you down and like drown you, right?
It's like a
And then it shows a more modern time with the same with like this grandmother like telling her kids, like her grandkids, this folklore, and they start crying because like just like the times have changed, so you can't get away with like the bad person like killing you anymore. Now it's just like someone will come take you away, and like it's just a lot more coddled, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that changed a lot of stories now.
That's like if you think about like The Little Mermaid, like
Mm.
with the story that it was based off
Oh,
of.
that
Like
wasn't meant to scare kids though. That was kind of written out of
No.
love.
I feel like it was just like a totally different kind of filter. Like
Well, and also the kids from back then were much more exposed to like death than kids
Yeah,
now, which is not
exactly.
a bad thing at all.
yeah,
But like,
That's
that's why
not
they're
exposed to as much death, but it's like it just sometimes some of these stories, some of these kids shows you notice too now. Like as soon as something happens, it's like sugar coated, 100%. And it's like it wasn't even like that when we were growing up, and we're not that old. Well, we are. We're getting 8-year-old back pains, but we're not that old.
no, it's just because of the weight of like my expectations on my shoulders.
The weight of my sins.
The weight of
the weight of my
the world.
sins.
But yeah, Beyond like all of those kinds of like shows and TV shows that you guys think are childish, quote unquote, I don't think they're childish just because like I don't really think that really counts because entertainment is entertainment in my opinion.
That's true.
Yeah.
There is a fine line. Let's take, for example, the shows kids watch nowadays. You become brain dead if you start watching them.
That's also true.
It honestly
Yeah.
depends because, like, okay, a lot of people take offense when they say, like, oh, like, don't you dare tell me this is for kids when it, like, obviously is because it's a good story. Like, just because it's, like, kid-friendly, it doesn't make it bad. Like, it can still be a quality, like, How to Train Your Dragon is, like...
It's amazing.
It's not for... It can be for adults, but that's not, like, the target audience. But it's still a quality story. Like, it doesn't make it stupid.
See, some people really think that you need to have like a bunch of like really extremely adult jokes for something to be funny, which is why like some of those Adult Swim TV shows are so stupid because
like, all they do
force,
is swear
Yeah.
because they can.
Yeah, because like they force, like that's why only few of them are making big hits. I know I was watching the Adult Swim because I saw the Mike Tyson Adventures. That's the actual TV show.
It is on
Really?
Netflix.
It's pretty funny actually. That one I don't mind, but there was another one that showed afterwards, something about like some lonely cop who had like a doll that was his wife or something. I don't know. It was
if I was a cop.
if it was something like that. I don't know what the name of the show was, and I was like, oh, let me watch it. 5 seconds of it being funny, and then suddenly someone's head was being ripped off, and somebody was having doing dirty things, and it was just really like, what I mean, like I was watching, and I'm like, this isn't funny at all. Like there's just so you could be
Like,
more
what
Like
is
you're
traditionally
trying to
funny.
be edgy.
Yeah.
Trying to be edgy by
Yeah.
putting that adult because you have the jurisdiction to do that stuff. No, like what?
Like, they really just needed to let something out. And
Yeah.
they just went home far.
Exactly, and I don't know. That's why like some of the shows like there's some shows like like Family Guy. I used to hate Family Guy. Family Guy I can watch now, but some episodes just aren't that funny.
Some episodes are just dumb.
Yeah, some of them are just dumb because like you can do it.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Mm.
Yeah.
That makes me question then, like, what's the difference between like a kid's thing and like an adult thing? Because like I thought maybe it's because like How to Train Your Dragon was like a cartoon maybe, but then you look at Family Guy, that's definitely not like a child child
No,
show,
not a child
Yeah.
show.
and that's also
The
cartoon.
rating.
So like, is it like the
plays the fact.
theme? Is it because like one's like more like happy, one's more
I
like
think
a
it's-
I
basic
think a lot of
structure?
it's also its demographic too. Because even though How to Train Your Dragon's like, I don't think it's just for kids. It's more for families. But like I think they have the idea that the demographic there are going to be kids who are watching it. Whereas like Family Guy, Futurama, South Park especially, they know for sure that the demographic is not going to be children. Because if children watch that, then they're going to be scarred.
I think it has to be more of the underlying message and who understands what's going on, because a lot of shows that are catered for adults have dark themes, dark messages, and the adults can relate to it. And if you show it to a kid, they're gonna get bored because they won't understand.
It's also sad though, like, because then it's, in a way it's kind of saying that adults can't relate to happy things as well now, like just
Yeah.
like to because the fairy tale is just like it's been around for, it's an original thing, like the basic structure of a fairy tale. You have like the antagonist, the protagonist, like bad versus good, you know, and like you see it, and I guess for adults they try to complicate it. They try to make you feel things for the bad guy, and then like the good people betray each other, and like
Yeah, it has a
why
lot
can't
more
it,
layers.
yeah, it can be simple sometimes
Yeah.
and still be a good
not,
thing.
Not everything has to be like society.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's the thing about
But I
edgy
do
humor.
like
Like,
things like that.
edgy
Mm.
humor can be good. It can be funny.
In
What I
certain
don't-
doses.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, yeah, some people think like edgy humor is funny because it's the edgiest thing they can think of. Like, that's not it. You gotta know
I
what
feel
you're
like
doing.
it shouldn't be trying so hard.
Exactly.
If it's trying so hard to be funny, it's not gonna be funny.
Or no,
Yeah.
just trying to be dark. Like,
Yeah,
when it's like
that's
saying
true.
it because, oh, look how dark I can get. Look
Yeah.
how bad we are. Like, it's just not gonna land.
It's
It
okay
kind
to
of-
be happy.
Do you remember when we were younger and
Don't you
there
like-
was like what's it called? Robot Chicken?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
those
yeah.
kinds of shows. Honestly, I remember when we were kids, like
I wasn't
it was
allowed to watch it.
really popular.
watch it.
Yeah, but it just wasn't that good.
What was it?
Like, it was-
I don't remember it.
It was
It was
I don't know how to describe it. It was just like
skits that were extremely edgy.
It looked really
Yeah.
dumb from
Yeah.
like the trailers.
like I don't know, like popular opinion is that I love that show. Anyone else that I talk to, it's like they loved it, like they watched it all the time. But I don't know if they're just saying that because
Nostalgia.
They don't want to seem like.
yeah, I think they
It's a
wanted to
giant
be like
bandwagon,
cool.
everyone just-
Yeah, it was like a bandwagon. Like I feel like they thought, oh, I'm like in second grade and I'm watching Robot Chicken, and like when I was in second grade I watched Robot Chicken. Like it's like you're in the loop, but
Yeah.
like honestly it's not quality entertainment.
It's not that
Well,
good.
I can't say I've never seen it.
Wait, what show?
Robot Chicken.
Oh, Robot Chicken. Oh God, I don't know. You know what? Have you guys went through that like 13-year-old phase where you thought all that stuff was funny because you're like, I'm grown, I can watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's
See,
when I used to
that's
watch
what
Robot
we're
Chicken.
saying.
When humor's like overly edgy like that, it seems like it's like adult jokes for kids.
Yeah,
Because
and
only
you think
kids
like,
who want to be in the loop will find it funny.
yeah.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's really not. Like Robot Chicken, I think a lot of their skits are just dumb.
All right. So, what are some other childish things? Because we kind of focus more on like childish
Movies.
entertainment.
Okay, what are child? I'm just trying to think of childish things. To
Board
begin with.
It's
games.
like cartwheels.
That's not childish.
No, a lot of people think board games are childish.
How they
Really?
played Catan, how they played Risk,
Oh my
how
gosh,
they played
Catan.
Monopoly.
How about Jumanji?
How about Cards Against Humanity? Wait, that's not a board
That's
game, but like I'm
a
saying, in a way, it's
board
like in that general.
But that's
Uno
catered
is
for
not-
adults. But
Catered
the
for adults,
basic,
like board games in general.
The basic what?
the
Like-
basic ones like,
like
card games, stuff
D&D,
like
like
that.
Monopoly.
Yeah.
Monopoly. I'm not gonna teach like a 2-year-old to play Monopoly. Or
I
a 3-year-old
know,
or a 4-year-old.
right?
Like it's
A
just
lot
like,
of those
pieces
games.
in their
yeah,
mouth.
I
Come
was
on.
like 8, 9, 12, whatever. When I'm
Yeah.
gonna play.
Man, I'm 20,
Honestly,
still
I
don't know
feel
how to play the game.
like it should be discussed what is considered childish or not. Like you were saying about entertainment, but I think that applies for everything.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
I think a lot of things have become more generally family kind of based instead of childish. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Which is
And
good.
Like
that's
in
how it should
general,
be.
children's TV, like I know there was this, I don't know how relative this would be, but I feel like in a way it is, because you're saying it's more family, and I know there was this big trial, like I think in the 60s, where they're thinking of taking like kids television shows off television because they're like, oh, it's stupid. And if you know my best friend Mr. Rogers, he made his whole speech about how it's not only for that, but it creates family time, quality time. So that's why a lot of kids shows and a lot of kids entertainment is not only just for kids, really for families. Supposed to bring it up. So that doesn't really mean it's like children's entertainment. It means like just entertainment in general for families. It's something appropriate that everybody can watch. I think that's really what can define it. Some things are genuinely child. Like if you watch like Teletubbies, like I don't think a whole family can gather on to watch.
Family
Yeah.
friendly fun.
I've been watching The Wiggles with my nephew, and that stuff's
Yeah.
addictive. Like
I know what you're talking
I'm
about.
I'm singing like The Wiggles at work and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like,
Yeah. I'm the same. Like
I mean, they are the number one band in the world.
Listen,
Yeah.
fruit
There's a
salad
reason.
slaps. Nothing
Yeah.
slaps more than that.
There's like this new thing on Netflix. I forget what it's called, but like it's just basically nursery rhymes and stuff. If you watch it for like an hour straight, it'll eat your brain. Like I know all the lyrics to all of these songs. Like
there has to be like a formula to this kind of stuff. It's like,
yeah, but like my baby cousin, she eats it up. Like she'll stare at the TV. She's not
It's-
even like a year old yet, and she's like she loves it.
it's
You
like
know?
a drug. Like honestly.
Yeah.
It's like
But like I don't get
it's the
it.
pretty colors. It's the pretty sounds.
It is the pretty
it's,
colors.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's triggering that part of your brain that just remembers the childhood.
That's true. Because also when I think about it, like I remember putting on like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Yeah.
which isn't really like a
It's not like for
It's
like
not like a
younger
kid
But you
kids.
must
It's
have
not that
been-
bad.
Like the for
But
yourself.
it
I
is.
mean.
The
For myself,
demographic
yeah.
is for kids.
But like
it's-
that's your older though. That's when you can
Yeah.
follow that story.
no, but
You're
I
like
mean like
7,
I put
8.
it on because I wanted to experiment. Will she like cartoons that aren't like directed for her audience? And she didn't want any of it. Like they like I was watching it for myself, but I just wanted to see like will she watch it with me? And she didn't. Like she just didn't want to look.
Again, it has
Yeah.
to do with will she understand the message behind it?
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
she's at that stage. She probably will eventually.
I just like figured like maybe it's like a cartoon thing. Maybe kids just like cartoons. But I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
it is the bright colors.
It was
probably.
crazy because I remember when my sister was growing up. We have a pretty big age gap, but of course we're like best friends. So I would watch those shows with her, and a lot of times I would want her to experience the same shows I would watch. So like Timothy Goes to School and The Berenstain Bears, and I just remember watching them. And a part of me was like, like you said, it's addicting. It's like not like I'm gonna go binge watch on my free time, but those are shows that I can literally find myself being like, I'm bored, let me rewatch an episode. It's like sounds extremely childish and weird.
Like
And it makes-
16.
Yeah, like 16. Well, 16 itself is not for like little kids.
Backyard
Yeah,
Games.
Yeah. Backyard
I can't
Again.
believe they took it
that
off
was a good
Netflix.
show.
I was so
I'm so
disappointed.
upset. Honestly, like that was the only
I
kids
think-
show that was on Netflix that my baby cousin and I both loved. You know, I knew all the songs.
Do you guys think
Really
that like?
catchy.
Do you guys think
No.
that like the shows you watch and like the music you listen to affects forms your personality when you're older?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, especially more so when you're a teenager. Like we all had our really Green Day phase.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's
I'm
part
so
of the reason why you want to share like everything. Like you said, you want to share with your sister, right? Because like, you want to like become. You don't want to like make them like you, but you want them to have
a
like,
part
that,
of me
that
there.
connection.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And answer your question, like the music helps shapes your atmosphere, right? So it's gonna help shape how you go out through
Yeah.
the day. And
I feel like if I didn't have like a mild emo phase, we wouldn't be friends.
Yeah.
A lot of us, yeah.
And when I say mild, I mean extremely mild. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
Still in it.
Right. Like but you mentioned Green Day, and I just remember that part of my life. I was there like extremely into Green Day. Like now, I feel like not really it's coming back, but because Green Day is making their comeback, I'm there like
Yeah.
I'm a little older now. I feel like I'm down for it.
Didn't they have like
Like,
an album? come
They
out
actually just
recently?
released an
Yeah, I
album. It's
haven't
very
listened to
different
it
sound
yet.
though.
all
It's pretty
American
different.
Rejects like shook my world.
All American Rejects.
We were,
It's,
like,
it's
12.
crazy. I remember we were all into like Fall Out Boy and Green Day around the same time, and literally right now they're on tour. They're like showing up to Toronto. I'm like,
And then now it's like I'm
It's-
at that age where it's like I don't really know if I would see them.
I don't
in
straighten
concert
my
more.
bangs
Yeah.
anymore. I'm sorry.
yeah, I don't.
I don't have bangs anymore. We're not going back to that.
Maybe on a sad night.
I remember their videos were like the best thing ever though.
Oh yeah. See, like if anybody wants to go to Green Day and Fall Out Boy with me, yeah, we can do that.
All right, guys. So I think it's about time that we go on a little break, but we'll be back really soon with some more.
Really
getting
soon
to
for
know-
us, but immediately for you.
Okay. We'll see you guys in a bit.
This podcast was sponsored by Water. You need it for life.
So refreshing.
And welcome back to the podcast. We had to take a well-deserved break, but we are back with some more fun and whatever else. So I think one thing we want to discuss before even going into other topics is really why we started the podcast, why we felt like we needed to. And I think in a way we all have very similar reasons, but also it's like from more personal points of views. I guess you guys want me to start. I mean,
Yeah.
Recently-
it was kind of your idea.
Yeah.
Originally, anyways.
well, I guess I mean, I don't know how where to start exactly, but I think recently I've been in a mental rut and I've been trying to be more creative. I know I used to be like into drawing and used to be into like creating like videos and stuff on my own little YouTube channel, and I think I just kind of lost that creative drive, and I've really been trying to find it in different ways, and I felt like doing a podcast would, you just get to talk and do whatever the hell you want, so.
I think it's healthy for everyone to have like a creative outlet as well, because I found that because I was so focused on school, I also used to do like vlogs and things like that, but lately I've just been so drowning in it, like there's nothing else that's on my mind except for school. And I also found that I was like having really shallow connections with my friends,
Yeah.
and I felt kind of lonely as a result of that.
Especially since you live outside of Canada.
Yeah.
She's always
I'm
in a
always
mystery
moving
location.
around, you know?
Oh yeah, if you didn't know, we're all good old Canadians.
Yeah.
Drake is our president.
But yeah, like especially because I'm away from a lot of like my childhood friends, like you guys, I don't really get to talk to people and connect with them really well. And I felt like any of our hangouts have been like us trying to distract ourselves from the stress instead of opening up and like being
Talking.
like yeah,
Yeah.
really kind of going
Having a
into
heart
it.
to heart.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
it's good that we do this in podcast form too, because anybody who's listening, you never know that maybe they might need to hear this. And of course, like not every podcast is gonna be deep and like really thing, but I think lighthearted or deep, somebody might want to hear it, somebody might need to hear it. And it's like the cool idea is that I don't know who's gonna, maybe it might be one person, it might be my grandma, might be like a million people. We don't know. We don't know where this is gonna go. This is really for fun. But the idea of like either our friends listening to it or just somebody stumbling across it and they can help them, I feel like that's also really rewarding for me.
Yeah.
Or even if you just want to hang out with someone,
Yeah.
come hang out with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say even if this like no one listens to it and this ends up being just for us,
Yeah.
I'm good with that because like what Angela was saying, it's something to look forward to that isn't school based, and it's not that I'm lacking in like people to have meaningful conversations with. It's just a lot of our topics have been like either catching up or like oh we're all stressed, let's kind of freak out about it.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to have like other things like because we always have other things to talk about, we just never get to it because we're in a really hectic place in our lives, and this gives us like more kind of grounds us a bit,
Yeah.
which I think is
Also, it's something that we have been like thinking about and talking about for a while. So like even if this goes nowhere, like absolutely nowhere, like it's nice to like set small personal goals for yourself, and like it gets us excited, you know, especially now like when we're all stressed. Like this is something that makes us like it makes me happy just like thinking about it, like dreaming, you know, like that's a healthy thing.
It's almost like an excuse for us to get together, you know?
Exactly.
When we're like, we did come and talk, and the fact that in a way it's like we have a purpose, that just makes it.
It kills more than two birds.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
It makes you feel productive at the same time.
You're
too.
productive,
You know you're getting
being
something done.
creative,
Yeah.
we're meeting up.
Yeah.
And then if anything, if this goes nowhere, we'll just keep these for like
Memories.
I know. Imagine like we're gonna be 50 years old, and then like
we can listen to what we were like.
I know.
I can't even grasp the fact that I'm
20s.
20 years old. We're thinking about 50.
I know.
But no, it's true. Like, we're gonna look back on these one day, whether
Mhm.
it goes nowhere or not. We're gonna be like, wow,
Yeah.
that was us.
I think these are really valuable moments. It'll also teach us like how to work together as a team,
Mm.
It'll teach
and
us
more
about
than just
ourselves,
being
too.
friends.
And maybe
you know?
down the line, we're gonna make more creative projects.
Yeah, it might inspire us, you know, and make us more
It's a
connections.
motivational thing. If you start off with one thing like this, like we think of other bigger things, and like it pushes you kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we could go into some more topics now that we kind of
Yes.
talked a bit about why we're here.
So we made a list of things to talk about because we're really excited to talk with you guys. One of which is, okay, there's a lot of really deep questions. I'm not sure I'm ready for all of them, so let's go here. So which is worse for you, failing or never trying?
Wow, that's not deep
Like
at
yeah,
all.
like you're like, oh, I'm not ready for deep questions.
Worst ones.
We're on the
Yeah.
shallows
Last
now,
one's
everyone.
I don't know. Like I feel like definitely not trying.
Never trying
I think it's-
is
Yeah.
definitely worse.
Okay, I feel like that's like the answer that you're supposed to gravitate to, but at the same time, when
Yeah.
I fail,
It's bad.
it gets to me.
It's
Like,
true. The fear of failure is
Yeah.
definitely.
yeah, I'm not at the point where I can take failure well. Like, I want to be there, but I'm not yet. Like, I can honestly,
Yeah,
like,
that's
it
fair.
gets to me a lot.
For me, why I say never failing is worse is because I live my life in such a way that I don't want things to go unexplored, right? So I always want to try stuff. I always want to do something new, and if I fail at it, that's okay. That's a learning experience. I know what not to do now, and whenever I try something new, I definitely will have more experience.
Right.
Never trying just completely blocks that out of my life.
For me, I think more like, because when it comes to failure, like I feel like the consequences of that failure just like they stick with me forever. Like because I've switched programs a couple times. All my friends know that. More than a couple times actually. And so like the consequences of that, like I haven't even finished a complete year of schooling yet, and like by switching, I've wasted. Like I get it. I know I haven't wasted time. I haven't wasted money. Nothing's a waste. But at the same time, it is a waste. Like I'm kind of tired of hearing that because like I wasted so much time in my life of my youth. I wasted so much money, and I'm in so much debt now that even like I can't even try to pursue other things because I'm of that debt and of that lack of time. Like I'm kind of like on a clock. You know what I mean? It's more stress.
Since you're knee deep, you have to see it through.
Exactly. So like I don't know. That's why I think failure is kind of more like that, because like with the never trying, like I feel like there's times where I feel like it's never too late to try something. Like you're gonna have time later on. If you regret not trying it now, you're gonna think back to it, you're gonna regret it, and then you're like, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot later on. I feel like there's always time to try something later.
My thing is that there are a lot of opportunities that I've like come across where I didn't even like. Now is the time to apply. Like I can't. There's no way that I can do it like after I've graduated or something like that. Like once I have a job, once I'm in like further graduate studies, like there's no way that I'm going to be able to do these things specifically that I can do now as an undergraduate student. So for me, that's why it's like never trying, because for me, never trying has always been about like never applying for this program, never applying for this like research opportunity. And honestly, like 9 times out of 10, I get rejected for everything I apply to. But since I apply to like a million different things, I get accepted like here and there, and then that's enough to like it's another experience to add onto my CV or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just kind of like, because for lower risk things, it's good to try things rather than just being afraid to like fail. Because like I have a bunch of backup plans in case things don't work out for me. But I guess it helps because unlike you, like I have been in my program since first year when I first switched into it. And I'm pretty set on completing my my degree. Yeah. So that's what I think about that. But I mean, there are some things that are honestly like, you know, I remember seeing this thing that was like, I don't know the difference between let fate handle it or something and like I should go for what I want. You know? Like if it comes versus like if you want it, go get it.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to differentiate.
It is
I
because
guess,
sometimes
too.
you don't know, because fate can be anything. It doesn't mean like that opportunity is gonna like hit you in the face. Maybe fate will be that you get that drive to go pursue it. You know what I mean? It could be anything. That's why there's so much unknown. Like there's so much unknown that we don't know about. Like you're saying, you don't know what it is. It's hard to like decipher which is which, because, you know, fate can be anything. It can be, you know, the little sign that makes you think, maybe I will go for it. Or the drive that you get, I think I'm going to do it. Or it could be right in front of your face, this is the job opportunity. It can be anything. It can even be the smallest things, which is why it's like, you always got to be looking, I don't know, I'm always looking for signs to do stuff, which should be a sign in itself that you should do it. Right? That's crazy.
Well, because like part of it's like there comes a time where like, okay, when is it like fate? Like is it predestined, or is it something that like I'm looking for affirmation for or confirmation for, whatever? Like do I have an idea and then I start seeing these signs because I'm looking for them, or do I have an idea and I'm like the universe is telling me that go ahead, do it, and that's why they're giving me these signs? Like I don't know, like it gets tricky when it comes to that, and that makes me think. Yeah.
I feel like for some things, if it involves just you, I think you should just always try.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But if it's something that like, oh, your family's gonna be affected by this, your significant other might be affected by
It's not
this.
anybody you love and care about. at that
Yeah,
point.
I think you should be more afraid of failure.
Mm.
You know, like if
Definitely
it's
outweigh
something.
the benefits and the costs.
Yeah.
That's just the most realistic point of view from it, though. You know, because some people will literally be like, "No, you gotta go chase it," but there's so much to consider when you're chasing something that's gonna affect people.
Not to mention, I remember reading this thing that was like for relationships or things like that. It really is. It's not up to you. For things that straight up isn't up to you, like there's no like why would you like, be afraid of not trying? You know, like if you ask somebody out, like it's possible that you'll regret not asking out that person, but also if you never do it in the first place, then it's an automatic no. I think that's kind of like, what are you okay with being an automatic no, and what are you okay with like being like, oh well, I guess just wasn't meant for me, you know?
What doors are you gonna knock on, and what doors are you just gonna leave alone?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. I guess for failure versus never trying, context does matter a lot.
Yeah.
It definitely
Because
does.
you shouldn't go for every single thing. Like, theoretically, we can just try everything, but it'd be kind of stupid. Like, if you know you're not
Yeah.
going to like this, or you
Yeah,
don't
just
think
know
you do
your
that.
stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's money.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just time.
Definitely for us, it's definitely money.
I know.
You
Oh
wanna
yeah,
know
there's
what
so
it's
much.
like.
Sometimes you say, "Oh, I want to become a dancer. I want to go into this. I want to go into that." But what money?
Do you know how much one dance class is? Okay,
I work-
it's so
I
expensive.
work minimum wage. I don't have time to like
Oh
Gosh.
run in there with a new dance class every
One
week.
dance class is 2 hours of work. No, thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, it's expensive, and that's like not in a package. But if you buy it in a package, it's like $60. But like I'm saying specifically, like hip hop dance classes, like they're expensive.
They're expensive.
It's
Especially
hard to have a
because-
hobby in your 20s. Okay.
It is.
It
It
is,
is
yeah.
so hard.
Especially just starting out, like a new one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And you don't know if you're gonna like it or not. And especially when you're like afraid, or you don't have the confidence to really say like, this is what I'm gonna stick to. Because sometimes when you want to try dance classes, for example, like use that as an example, you don't know if you're gonna like it. You're just like, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
But then what if you're nervous about how you feel like you look, or how you feel about it? You don't have the confidence to go into it. So you're just throwing away your money, and then that's another thing too.
Oh, just like a side question off of what you said, like nervous about what you look and things like that. What do you think are things that like people should let stop them from doing things? Do you know what I mean?
What's the difference between an excuse for not doing something and like
and
a
like
proper
something that you
proper
really
reason.
just shouldn't. Yeah. You shouldn't let it stop you, kind of thing. You know, like I feel like if it clashes with your values, definitely don't.
Don't
Like
do it.
definitely don't do it.
If it can directly affect, if it can affect anyone that you love and care about, like,
Yeah.
then yes.
But besides
100%.
like those obvious points, like things like, I don't know, let's just use like something like totally left field, like skydiving as an excuse. Like be like, oh, I'm scared. Some people will argue, well, you should just get over your fear. But some people like legitimately they're like, well, if they're uncomfortable with it, then why should they go through
I
it?
feel like one
Well,
reason could be
like,
how
at
this
that
person
point-
reacts to fear, because you know some people how they really go into easy panic attacks. You don't want to go have a panic attack in the middle like of the air. You're falling down from how many feet up and you're having a panic attack. You can't breathe. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, like you gotta know yourself. Like if you know that if you just need a push and then you'll be fine, then okay, like it doesn't matter that you're scared. But like you said, if you know that you're just not gonna remember to pull your parachute.
Going off of knowing yourself, I think it really has to do with what will bring you happiness at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
sorry, you go.
you really just want to live your life, bringing you the most happiness to yourself and to your loved ones.
That's true.
On that note, yeah, know yourself and know others. Just because it might bring you happiness doesn't mean you should go for it. Like, and also like learn from history. Like, some people when they're like persistent and let's say like pursuing someone, and they don't want to maybe accept failure, and they're like, well, you know, if I give up, like, who knows? Like, sometimes you got to know when to give up, and you got to know when to be respectful of yourself and anyone else involved.
I agree. But going back to this whole like skydiving example, like maybe it's just the example, but like something like that, like when you have people telling you to just get over that fear, like that's not like as long as it's something that's like hindering your lifestyle, like you don't have to get over your fear of jumping out of a plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like the social speaking thing. You don't have to get over a fear of social speaking if you can avoid it. You know?
Yeah.
It's a good skill to have, 100%.
If it's part of your everyday lifestyle, you do have to get over it.
Yeah,
exactly.
But if it's not, then like no big deal.
Fear is normal, and not all fear is bad.
No, fear is good for you. Like it keeps you motivated to an extent.
I am fearful of failure. Going back to the earlier one. Oh, that's a difficult thing to be afraid of, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I think everyone's afraid of failure.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, that's part of why people don't want to try stuff.
Mhm.
Going all the way back to where we started.
And going back to failure costing money, this is, I mean, so far, pretty
Healthy.
cost efficient.
Yeah.
Unless it's like you're a cheapskate.
Yeah, I would say
You're a
so too.
cheesecake.
Everything in balance, everything in moderation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this would be a good time to go to our next question. If happiness is the national currency,
Oh my God.
what kind of work would make you rich?
I totally purposely avoided this one.
What kind of work would make you rich? You know what?
This is really difficult to answer.
For me, it's easy.
In my opinion.
Because-
Okay, you go first then.
Well, for the past year, I've been really trying to discover myself. I've been reading self-help books, and which has really grounded me with my emotional side, which previously I was not in tune with at all.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But now, since I do know what brings me happiness, it's my hobbies. One of my biggest hobbies is video games. So if I could play video games for a living, I would love that. I'd be the richest man in the world.
I think it's hard for us because none of us know like what like distinctly makes us happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I've been so out of touch with my hobbies.
You know what's also such a hard question? Like, I know for me personally, because I started university as an undeclared major because I don't know what I want to do. And I'm in a major now, and it's a very flexible major, very mutable. You can do it. You can use this major pretty much anywhere, which is great. But if you ask me what I want to do now, I have no idea. But a question like this, you would honestly think that, you know, your first instinct would be like, I want to be a singer, I want to be a dancer. And those are very valid answers, because you think about if it's happiness, you know, what's something like, oh, I wish I had the talent to do this, I wish I had the talent to do that. But sometimes it's like, you really think, like, for me, I'm thinking, yeah, but if I say I want to be a singer, well, I can't sing, but, like, that would be a great,
But if
a
it makes
great
you
career.
happy,
It makes you happy,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
But it's like, would that really make me happy? There's so much to this question. But
And
like,
also, if you're a bad singer and then you become a singer,
Yeah, would you be
are you
happy?
making other people happy?
exactly.
You
You know,
your friend was poor, so you're rich.
this is something I honestly always thought about. I want whatever I do in the future, whether it's in media, whether it's in like with sociology, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's all dependent on whatever's gonna happen, like, in the future. And I feel like we're relatively young, you know? Like, we have a lot of time to figure things out. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, not to get kind of, like, sad sounding, but I don't remember what it's like to be, like, happy.
Yeah.
Does that
I was thinking
make
like there are
sense?
things that make me content.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
But, like, do I have to be more than content?
But like yeah, for this one you have to have like that childlike excitement for it all the time because that's hard to come by.
That's also unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm okay with just being in the middle. Like, as a kid, I always thought I have to be happy all the time, otherwise something's wrong with me. And I feel like that's a reason why I fell into, like, a huge depression as I was, like, growing up and becoming, like, an adult and stuff and, like, transitioning into university life, you know?
But I think it's still nice to like aim for happiness because like you're saying like it's not like we just feel sorrow and pain and sadness all the time. Like I still feel like I still have happy moments and like days where like, I'm feeling good and whatnot. But like in general, if you ask me if I'm happy like as myself in life right now, no. So I think it's still like nice to like aim for that goal. Like when I'm old, I want to be happy. I want to feel fulfilled and content. Kind of, yeah, I would wish for it all the time. Like, I understand, like, you can't have that, right? But, like, in general, if I ask that question, I want to say yes.
That's true.
This question like stressed me out because it wasn't like if happiness was currency, what job would you have, right? Because there's like a ton of things I could do that would make me content.
Yeah.
They asked like to make you the richest person in the world. That's like extreme levels of happiness. I don't really know how I could achieve that.
Yeah.
Like I could achieve a happy life. I could be happy with myself and content, but like that kind of extreme, almost mania. I don't know.
I feel weird knowing that I'm the only one that can fully answer the question.
But that's okay. Like, I mean, I just feel like for me personally, there's more to it than just like my job. You know, if I'm
Well,
having a
definitely.
great family life, if I'm maintaining good friendships,
Yeah.
like that'll keep me happy too. And in that case, I would be jobless. You know, if that's all I needed to be rich, I would be jobless. I would just spend
You'd be a
time with my
housewife.
friends and my family.
Yeah, exactly. Walk the dog.
And then after that, though, because you also had the question if, like, you can only feel happiness if you feel the opposite of it, sadness, right? So for
True.
how long will you be rich and will you be happy? You know what I mean? If you're not, if that's all you're feeling.
What they say is that over time, you do kind of acclimate to whatever situation you're in. You know, like that's how come you see people who are super, like, poor and they still manage to be happy, and then you have super rich people that like they're sad. It's because your standard adjusts, like you adjust with the climate that you're in.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. And I feel like it's unrealistic to expect that from anyone to just be happy all the time.
Being human means
Yeah.
accepting both the highs and the lows of
Yeah.
life.
We've seen Inside Out, guys. Come on, we know.
We know the
Obviously,
answer to
that
that question. Yeah.
So how about I ask you guys this now? Because we're talking about happiness and what makes you happy. But we're just assuming we have like a... You make me happy too! But now we're assuming that we have like, you know, not really all the time in the world, but we have time. But suppose the average human lifespan was 40 years. How would you live differently and how would you just...
My entire life would have been different.
Oh,
Right?
God, would
Yeah.
have been different. Yes, there would have been
I-
no school
I hope so. Yeah.
because school takes up like your first 20 to 25 years,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
and after that you're just left with 15. And what are you gonna do with the time?
And-
You don't know. I'm getting an existential crisis.
I know.
Do you think people will be happier then with a shorter life because like they're kind of forced to like live?
They do more, and we would get accustomed to the new lifestyle.
Well, would that depend though? That doesn't mean we're all going to be born in the same place in life. We can still have different classes and different races and struggles.
My thing is that I feel like if everybody's lifespan is like 40 years old,
Yeah.
I think that relatively we would adjust to it anyways.
Yeah,
that's
our
true.
whole
It'll
society
end
would
up
be
being. It would be so
I
different.
mean, it wasn't like that hundreds
Yeah.
of years ago too, and everybody found ways to
Yeah,
adjust. That's
yeah.
pretty much the average lifespan.
yeah, like average lifespan back then was like. Sometimes people would die before 40, and that was typical.
And you're
Sometimes
just like,
people would live
"Aw."
up to 60, and that was amazing. You know.
Do you think people would be like more reckless then, knowing that they're gonna live shorter anyway? So would the healthcare be as like extensive as it is now?
Oh, definitely not, because
Mm-mm.
healthcare is based on making everyone's lives easier, and that includes the
Older,
elderly
yeah.
and the
Mhm.
sickly.
But our definition of elderly could definitely change too.
Oh yeah.
Our elderly
So
would be
that
like
would.
30 to 40 or 25
The
to 30
anti-wrinkle
to 40.
business.
Yeah.
I know. Like we're assuming that like at age 40, which is like age 40 that we are right
Oh,
now.
are we gonna look like we're 80
Yeah,
at age 40?
are we gonna look
I was
like-
thinking you turn 40 and you just that's
You
it
just-
for
you
you.
pass out.
You expired.
You were
Yeah.
You know what's
That's
a
interesting.
real question though?
Mm.
Are we going into this 40-year lifespan with the mentality and the idea that people have lived more than 40 years and now
Oh.
suddenly? Because
Yeah.
Oh, so like
we adjusted with the idea because many people, sorry not to cut you off, but many people beforehand, like we're talking about 100 years ago, they were like, wow, 60 is impressive. And
Yeah.
100 years old was unthinkable. But if we're doing a 40-year lifespan, but we had the mentality and the idea to know that, like, oh, people can live to 100, how would that change? That would change it 100%.
Like if we were like told, like society's the same, but like our group was like, you're not gonna live past 40.
Yeah.
Mm.
And let's say our grandparents would live to 100 and something or whatever else, or even great-grandparents.
I would probably be a lot less stressed, right?
Uh-huh.
I'd also be kind of mad though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
I
that
feel
wasted
like
so much time now.
Like give
we're
me
on the next
forewarning.
plane to Iceland.
I know, right?
Just
Honestly,
reset my life.
yeah. I would also want
Yeah.
totally different things for myself. Like right now, I want a family, but I don't want to have kids if I know I'm not going to be there to take care of them.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's a good one too.
Yeah, I would have had
Or,
kids.
like-
I would have kids right now.
Yeah,
I think people would be
Yeah.
rushing to have kids as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Yeah.
feel like birth control
You
and
can only raise them until like they're 10.
yeah, I feel like birth
Yeah.
control and contraceptives in general
You
would be like a
haven't-
non-existent thing at this point. We all be like, oh, we want the kids,
Yeah.
yeet them.
Yeah, but also at the same time, when you think about it, if you expect yourself to die at 40, that would make you a terrible parent if you have your kid like past the age of like maybe 20, because then you're gonna die before they're even
There'd
an
probably
adult,
be like
and
a,
then they'll be left to fend for themselves.
you know, there'd probably be like a lot more adoption centers.
Mhm.
And like, cause you're gonna have younger like couples now, and who instead aren't having kids, or if they are, they're having it later, and they're gonna be adopting instead. So the adoption process would probably be a lot easier.
How do you think that would change, like the female body? Because you know how on average a woman can stop. You know, you're less likely to have kids at a later age, right?
Mm.
But that's because we're talking about an average lifespan of a certain age. Do you think that would change if our average lifespan was supposed to be 40?
Okay, well we haven't decided yet. So when we die at
Yeah.
40, are our bodies like are we looking like 80 years old? Like are we still like in a 40-year-old's body?
Because if we are, then by 10 you should
Oh my
be
God.
having kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty much.
Hell no!
Yeah.
I'm 20 right now and I don't even want to think about having kids. God, can you
Yeah, no,
imagine?
yeah, I don't know about that, but let's assume that it's the one where we just stop aging at 40 and we die there.
Okay.
So I would think, I mean, you're fertile once you get your period, so I guess you could have.
Yeah.
As
Well,
early as
mine
originally.
is-
My mom was late when she was old when she had me. She was like 39.
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
She,
that.
she would be gone by 1 year old.
And I turned out fine.
You know what's... Hello? We have a mystery caller.
I wonder who that is.
It's our
Yeah.
sponsor.
Water.
But yeah, sorry, we're filming in Kimberly's house.
And she just ran away with the mystery caller.
Yeah,
How selfish.
I know, right? But yeah, I don't know. If I knew that I was gonna die at 40, like just to answer the question from my perspective, I would get married.
Like
Even-
at 15.
even that's a challenge because
Oh, you have to meet someone
you're
for, oh my
constantly
gosh.
discovering yourself. And would you be happy with meeting someone at 15 when you're still discovering yourself?
That's horrible.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like with the average, with the age span of 40, I feel like you'll also be under more pressure to be like, crap, I haven't discovered myself yet. I only have like, you know that episode of Friends where Joey is like crying because all of them are turning 30?
Yes.
That's literally gonna be
At 9 years old.
oh God, why?
Nothing to live for.
I honestly can't imagine a 10-year-old having the same kind of crises that I'm having, like, on a day-to-day basis.
There'd probably be more like dating systems and dating websites and apps. Whatever. The age limit's gonna be like 12.
Oh my God, I do not want to see a 10-year-old's Tinder profile. Are you kidding me?
The laws would be
I could
so
treat you like I
different.
treat my Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me.
What would Juvie even exist?
Nah,
No,
it
it'd
should
be
be
jail.
jail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God, someone's entire life in jail. Probably like that'd be like a lot more common.
Do you think the
Life
crime rate
sentence.
would go up? Because if you think you're gonna die in a few years and you're just like, I really want to kill the person,
Oh,
you think it
definitely.
would go up?
Especially because everyone's young and like
Everyone's-
hormony
And they're and now their life sentence. Like, suppose someone like murders somebody and they get a life sentence, and they're like 30, 35, 39.
yeah.
They would be like, all right, I'm just gonna chill for the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
what's the rest of your life? Like 2 years?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
It's like,
But
let's say
also-
you're young and you get like a 5-year sentence for something else. That's so much more significant now.
Yeah.
Those 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 years no matter what. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a lot worse. Damn.
Yeah.
It's actually so sad.
I hope you guys are feeling the same way we're feeling at this
I know,
table right
I feel
now.
kind of. I don't know what I'm doing. with
Actually,
life.
I hope you feel a little better.
a little better than what this table is feeling right now. We're coming up on like 1 hour now, so I think that just about wraps things up.
Can
for
we
this
wrap it up on
episode.
a happier note?
Whoa.
That's so sad.
Let's wrap it up on a happy note. I
What
think
did we talk about that was happy?
I think one question we did have was, what is something you're grateful for? And I think that should that should get every single one of our listeners to really think about what they're grateful for. If
Yeah,
not-
especially if you're thinking that you have a 40-year-old lifespan.
Exactly.
You should definitely know what you're
Be
grateful
grateful
for
that we
then,
don't have
yeah.
a 40-year-old lifespan. That's where you gotta start.
Okay, let's go around the table. Let's start
Okay,
with
everyone
Jess.
just say,
Gems.
I'm grateful for animals.
You're going the general route. I'm going the more sentimental route. Thankful for my family and friends.
We're thankful for you too.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Give me a speaker.
Right back at you.
In this 1 year discovery period, I've really found my roots in what I believe in and what I have faith in, right? And everyone needs a faith system, and that system has become my family and friends.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm thankful for.
That's awesome.
That was a good one.
Crying with
Just cut
podcast
it
by
out.
default.
Kind of follow that up, Jess.
How am I gonna follow that
I'll
one
get
up?
super specific. I'm gonna say I'm grateful for my brother. 'Cause he's been so good this whole time.
He's been an absolute angel.
You're a
Yeah.
I don't know. What am I thankful for? Because I'm thankful for so many things. But more than anything, I've gotta say I'm thankful for my parents. My friends can, like, at this point in time, like, I'm going through a really rough patch with them, but nothing is ever gonna make me feel like I don't owe them, like, the world, you know? Sometimes to too much of a degree where I feel like I should, like, be conforming, but that's a totally different podcast. But
That's gonna be a 3-part series.
oh yeah. But yeah, I just have to say my parents, like, more than anybody else on this planet.
For me, how do I top all those great answers?
Animals.
That was my answer.
A part of me really wants to say something different, 'cause I want to be different, but like, I don't think I can really top it. I feel like genuinely, I'm very, very grateful for my friends and my family, my parents and my sister, you guys. I think it's just like, if I didn't have these great people around me to keep me grounded, to make me feel not like a piece of crap, I don't know what I would. Honestly, I don't know what I would do. We're not gonna get sentimental. I don't want to get too sentimental here because we're all gonna start crying. And
That was beautiful, but also you just like ripped off everyone but Jenna.
Y'all are too original. I was still thinking of the animals.
so Jenna's grateful for the Lion King.
Yeah, I am, right?
Animal Kingdom.
Jungle Book. Go, keep going.
I don't know. The Backyardigans. Yeah.
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Okay, I'd like to leave everyone off with one question.
What would
What
you...
animal is Uniqua?
Yes! What animal is Uniqua, guys? You guys think about it. Comment it, please.
And let us know what you
I
think.
didn't watch that. I was like, who's Uniqua?
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Podcast by Default. This has been Kimberly,
Angela.
Jess.
Chris.
Gems.
and we will see you, or you will hear us, next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.